When Aaron moved into the one-bedroom flat above the bakery, he wasn't thinking about ghosts. He was thinking about rent. The place smelled faintly of yeast in the morning and coffee at night. The walls were thin, the carpet worn, but it was affordable. He signed the lease without hesitation. He didn't notice the first Labubu doll until the second week. It wasn't his. He found it behind the radiator when he was cleaning. A small rabbit-like figure with long ears and sharp teeth, painted in bright pastel colors. Its smile was too wide for comfort. He set it on the windowsill and thought nothing more of it. At first, the doll was just another odd leftover from the previous tenant. The flat had been furnished in a half-hearted way, mismatched cutlery, a sagging sofa, a chipped mug in the cupboard. Why not a toy too? Aaron mentioned it once to his co-worker Sarah over lunch. They're called Labubu, she said. People collect them. I had a friend who queued outside the shops to get the blind boxes. Some editions are worth hundreds. Aaron shrugged. He wasn't a collector, but later that night, curiosity got better of him. He looked up Labubu dolls. There were dozens of designs, costumes, colors, editions. Some looked cute, others strange. His looked like none he could find online. Its ears bent slightly inward, almost as if it were listening. The first odd sound came a month later. Aaron woke up in the night to a faint scratching. At first, he thought it was a mice. The bakery downstairs surely attracted pests, but the sound wasn't random. It came in steady bursts. 3 short taps, a pause, then 3 more. Tap, 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 pause. Tap, tap, tap. He got out of bed, pressed his ear to the wall. The sound stopped. When he returned to the bed, the doll was angled differently on the windowsill, as if it had been turned toward him. He told himself he was tired. It wasn't long before he found another. This one appeared in the kitchen cupboard, behind a stack of plates he rarely used. Same ring, same black eyes, different outfit. A tiny painted waistcoat, chipped at the edge. He swore it hadn't been there before. He placed it beside the first, now on the bookshelf, 2 prints side by side. A week later, a third turned up under the sofa cushions. Then a fourth in the wardrobe. Each time, he told himself it must be the previous tenant who had left them scattered around. But why so many? By midsummer, he had 7. When Sarah came by for coffee one Saturday, she noticed the dolls immediately. You never said you were collecting, she said, forcing a smile. I'm not, Erin replied. They just keep showing up. She frowned. What do you mean? He explained, finding them in cupboard, under the furniture, and inside drawers. Sarah looked at him with concern. You need to get out more, she said gently. You're working too much. Staying in this flat alone, it's getting to you. Aaron didn't argue, but later, after she left, he counted again. 8. They were 8 now. He hadn't found the newest one. The dreams began quietly. At first, he dreamt of ears, rows of them, long and bent, leaning towards him in silence. Then he dreamt of teeth, hundreds of tiny grains, all identical. One night, he dreamt he was in his flat, lying in bed, staring at the bookshelf. The dolls were there, all of them, lying neatly, but their heads turned in unison, their ears tilted forward. He woke gasping, heart pounding. On the bookshelf, the dolls were angled differently. Aaron started rearranging them compulsively. Each night he lined them up perfectly, ears symmetrical, bodies facing forward. Each morning they were slightly up. He began to measure the angles with a protractor, jotting notes in a pad. Sometimes the chill was only 3 degrees, sometimes 10. The notes grew frantic. Dates, times, positions. He filled pages. He stopped inviting Sarah. He stopped answering calls. His word narrowed down to the flat, the dolls, and the scratching at night. The 10th appeared in the fridge. He found it sitting upright beside the milk, green whiter than the others. The cold plastic made his skin crawl. That night, the scratching was louder, not from the walls this time, but from the floor beneath his bed. 3 taps. Tap, tap, tap. A pause. 3 taps. Tap, tap, tap. He pressed his palms to his ears, but the rhythm continued inside his skull. Tap, tap, tap. Pause. Tap, tap, tap. One morning, on his way out, Aaron bumped into the old woman who lived across the hall. She looked at him with pale, sharp eyes. "You found them then?" she said. Aaron froze. "What?" "The little listeners," she murmured. "They keep the promises. You don't." He stared, but she shuffled away without another word. That night, he dreamed of her voice whispering from the doors' mouths. By autumn, Aaron had stopped sleeping properly. He taped the dolls into boxes, stacked them in the closet, but in the morning, they were back on the shelf, always grinning, always listening. The scratching grew constant, inside the walls, beneath the floorboards, in the hollow of the radiator. The bakery downstairs closed for renovations. The usual comforting smell of bread and coffee was gone. Without them, the flat felt empty. Only the dolls remained. And the last night Aaron spent in the flat, he wrote a note on the kitchen counter. "If anyone finds these, don't keep them. Don't move them. Don't promise them anything." The neighbor heard footsteps until after midnight, then silence. When the landlord entered weeks later, the flat was empty. No dolls on the shelves, no boxes in the closet, but behind the radiator, where the first one had been, there was a single long scratch in the paint. 3 short lines, a pause, then 3 more. Tap, 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 pause. Tap, tap, tap. The flat has been rented since. New tenants come and go, staying only a year or 2. Sometimes they repaint the walls, sometimes they replace the carpet. The scratches behind the radiator remain, and every so often, a tenant mentions a strange little toy they find tucked away in cupboards or drawers, a rabbit-like figure with long ears and grin that seems just a little too wide. Most laugh it off, some throw it away, but the next always finds another.